Ever feel like you're just waiting for your life to change? Well, today, we're digging into the philosophy of the legendary Jim Rohn. He argued that change doesn't happen by chance. It happens by choice. And we're going to break down his simple, powerful method for turning your decisions into your reality.
It all kicks off with this core idea right here. Rohn believed that a lot of us, we blame luck or circumstances for where we are, but he just cuts right through all that noise. He argues your entire life, your health, your career, your relationships, is just a direct reflection of the thousands of tiny little choices you make day in and day out.
Now that's a powerful idea, isn't it? But it immediately brings up a huge question. We can choose to be successful, we can choose to be healthy, but what's the missing piece? What's that secret ingredient that actually turns a choice into a real thing?
The answer is so simple, it's almost deceptive. It's the bridge between the world you're in right now and the world you want. And that bridge is built with just one thing: action. Ron was crystal clear about this. Without that first step, every great idea, every brilliant plan, and every vision is really just a fantasy.
So let's really explore this. First up, the power of action. We're going to look at why this is the only real bridge that gets you from your dreams to your achievements.
For Rohn, action isn't just about being busy for the sake of it. He saw it as a literal bridge that you build, one plank at a time, to cross that huge gap between a dream and a real-world result. Without building that bridge, your greatest goals are just wishful thinking.
And this right here highlights a critical shift in mindset. On one side, you have imperfect action, starting before you feel ready, learning as you go, and building up that all-important momentum. On the other side is perfect inaction. That's the trap of waiting for the perfect plan, which, let's be honest, never shows up. Ron's point is simple. While you're waiting, life is happening.
He puts it even more bluntly here. Taking action might lead to a temporary setback, okay? But hesitation, that guarantees failure. And why? Because you never even step onto the field to play the game.
So, action gets you started. But what keeps you going on day 2 or day 200? Well, that brings us to one of Jim Rohn's most powerful ideas: the daily battle between discipline and regret.
So what did Rohn actually mean by discipline? He wasn't talking about motivation or inspiration. No, he meant this simple, often unglamorous act of doing the work, especially when you don't feel like it. This is the engine that powers a wish into an actual result.
Now this is where the concept becomes a total game changer. Our daily choices compound, just like money in a bank account. A small discipline, like reading just 10 pages a day, it feels like nothing, right? But over 5 years, that's over 18,000 pages of knowledge. But here's the scary part. The same is true for those small acts of neglect. They also compound, creating a future you never, ever intended.
Ultimately, it comes down to a choice between two types of pain. Rohn believed the pain of discipline, doing the hard work today, well, it's light, it weighs ounces, it's temporary. But the pain of regret, looking back on a life of what-ifs, that's a crushing weight. It weighs tons, and it lasts forever.
But if discipline is so powerful, what's the biggest obstacle? What stops us? That brings us to our third section: the danger of comfort. Rohn saw the comfort zone as a seductive but ultimately a deadly trap.
Rohn completely flips the script on what we should be wishing for. He says instead of wishing for fewer problems, wish for more skills. Instead of wishing for less of a challenge, wish for more wisdom, because true growth never, ever comes from an easy life. It is forged in struggle.
This idea is absolutely central to his philosophy. Problems aren't roadblocks, they're training grounds. You see, success isn't something you pursue directly. It's something you attract by becoming the kind of person who can solve those problems.
Okay, so this all sounds great, but how do we apply this in the real world? Well, this brings us to what Rohn called the 3 keys to mastery. These are the practical areas where you have to apply discipline to achieve your goals.
You see, Rohn believed mastery wasn't some big, complicated secret. He said it boils down to focusing your energy on 3 key areas. First, fiercely guarding your priorities. Second, consciously choosing the people you spend time with. And third, committing to a life of constant personal growth. Let's break those down.
Let's tackle that first key: priorities. Rohn saw a huge difference between being busy and being effective. Being busy is just running on a hamster wheel of minor tasks. Being effective is intentionally making progress on the few major things that will actually shape your future.
This is a quote to keep in your back pocket. Seriously, it's the ultimate check-in question to ask yourself throughout the day. Is this just activity, or is this productivity? Am I just moving, or am I actually making progress?
Next up, the second key, your associations. Rohn was famous for saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Just think about that for a second. Are you surrounded by people who pull you down or lift you up? Because one will lead to stagnation and the other will force you to rise.
And the final key, the one that underpins absolutely everything, is personal development. Ron's logic was simple. You get paid for the value you bring to the marketplace. Your life improves only after you improve. Your income, your success, your opportunities, they will rarely exceed your own level of personal growth.
All right, let's bring this all together in our final section, your call to action. The goal, in Rohn's own words, is to live full, die empty. To not leave this world with all your potential still locked inside of you. So, what does this path look like in practice? It's these 4 steps. 1. Act, especially when you're scared. 2. Choose discipline over regret every single day. 3. Intentionally seek out discomfort. And 4. Master those keys of priorities, people, and personal growth.
And if you're wondering when to start all of this, Rohn has the perfect answer. Don't wait for a new year or a new month. The opportunity isn't tomorrow, it's right now.
So we'll leave you with this one final question. Not for tomorrow, but for right now, today. What is the one small action you will take to start building that bridge to the future